For me, it's about the law and people. How am I supposed to quantify the value of these things when I don't have evidence?
I'm sorry.
And how people can resolve their problems and just be better for it.
Justice with passion.
I always knew I was going to go into law because I tried to see everybody's point of view in an argument. You say one thing, she says another. So who am I to believe?
Justice with truth.
Either you make the decision or I make the decision. You won't like mine.
This is Justice for All with Judge Cristina Perez. William Blanchard is suing Howard Garlington in the amount of $2,400. Mr. Blanchard claims the defendant threw a wedding at his short-term rental without permission and says his rug and pool needed cleaning as a result.
Good afternoon, Mr. Blanchard. You are suing the defendant, Mr. Garlington, for $2,400, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
And this claim arises out of a rental?
Yes.
That you have, that he rented from you, correct?
Correct.
Right.
I own a short-term rental, which he rented, broke some rules, and then consequently caused some substantial property damage.
Okay. Please explain what happened, and that's why you're suing for the $2,400. So
we put up a listing, and we usually use it as a short-term rental, but sometimes we'll do events there, maybe a wedding, party, something like that. So
I understand the property's in the kind of like in the mountain area.
It's a beautiful property in Palm Springs, Your Honor. 4-bedroom, 4.5 bath, large yard, swimming pool, and it has all the amenities. So people are very comfortable. They don't have to do a thing when they get there. It's just like staying in my personal home.
Beautiful. Okay. So then tell me about this rental agreement that you had with the defendant.
I put a listing online. He responded to it, said he wanted to stay for the maximum 6 days. I thought that was great. He said there'd be 10 people staying there. That's perfect. That's the maximum amount.
10 people that can spend the night there, right?
10 people that can spend the night, correct, because we have amenities, sleeping, beds, etc. But then later I found out that he wasn't totally honest when he was doing the application for the place.
Why was he not totally honest?
Well, I got a call from the neighbor on the third day. He told me that there was a wedding going on in the backyard. Now, I was a little bit confused because we had never talked about or discussed a wedding, so I wanted to find out what was going on. Plus, again, parties are not allowed unless they're specifically booked through a separate website, which he had seen, and that is part of the listing.
Do we have a copy of this, the rental agreement?
It's a link for the wedding and event website, which is part of the original online listing, which he saw.
And Your Honor, if I could, I have the agreement for what I paid.
All right, go ahead and give that to Cinder, please. All right, so Mr. Blanchard, you are saying you rented the defendant, Mr. Garlington, your beautiful Palm Desert home for 6 days.
Correct.
For 10 people as just a vacation rental.
Correct.
He breached, and it was for 20, how much was it, Mr. Garlington, for the week?
25, I believe, is what the number was.
So $2,500 is what you paid. Did you have to pay for this up front?
Yes, all of the expenses were up front.
So the contract was rent my beautiful house for 6 days, have 10 people, no more than 10 people sleeping at the place.
Correct.
And have fun. $2,500, right? And you're saying he breached that contract because he actually had something that you call an event that violated the terms that would have required him to book as an event versus just a fun vacation house, and he had to pay more.
Correct, because when the neighbor called, I drove down there and I saw that they were having the wedding. And there
How many people were there when you saw they were having the wedding?
There was 12 people there at that time.
Okay, so that's not huge. This really wasn't a huge party. It was just 2 extra people hanging out with him during the day. So I don't understand how he violated that, the rental agreement.
It said no weddings.
And Your Honor, to kind of clarify, our ceremony that we hosted was impromptu. We had decided to do it.
So when you went to this vacation rental, what was your purpose?
Our purpose was to spend time with me, my fiance, and my 8 friends. We were going to have this week-long, 6-day just hangout session. We wanted to get to be spending time with one another. We wanted to just reconnect. We hadn't seen each other in a while. And my fiance and I had been engaged for about a year at that point. We had already gotten the marriage certificate, but we're not very traditional people. We had never planned on doing an actual wedding. And on day 3, all our friends, again, we haven't seen in a while, haven't had a chance to connect, kind of pressured us a little bit to do a ceremony right there. So this was completely spontaneous. I was aware.
And you were going to have a wedding without parents and important family members?
Correct. The only people that we called to bring in was an additional friend that's an ordained minister that lived not that far from it. And he ended up joining us to be our officiant with his wife. So we weren't calling other family friends. We hadn't even changed out of what we were wearing when we had come about the idea. It was that
Did you
informal.
bring anything extra to plan this event?
No.
Did you bring like a cute outfit, your wife, nothing?
Coming up on Justice for All.
So then what happened next, Mr. Blanchard? Then you walked in, you were furious, etc. What happened?
Right. At that point, I felt I had no choice but to kick him and his friends out of the rental property.
Really?
If you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. You're watching Justice for All with Judge Cristina Perez. We're back with the case of William Blanchard, who is suing Howard Garlington for breach of contract.
We did absolutely nothing from the time of deciding we were going to host a wedding ceremony to actually doing it. I was wearing the same clothes inside. The only dressing up we did, my friend Greg had a pair of boxers with hearts on them. We used that as the backdrop. That's how little effort we put into staging a ceremony.
Okay, and so you guys were outside and you had this little ceremony, and what happened next?
We went through the motions of what people traditionally do at weddings. You know, people gave little speeches. We did the I do. We read vows to each other. But again, it was just a group of us hanging out outside in the area that these things could take place at.
Okay.
So
did you bring in extra furniture, I'm trying to think, what would have made the neighbor think you were having a wedding? I'm just trying to figure out if you had a dual motive when you rented this and you're basically being deceitful. I'm trying to figure that out. Nothing, right?
We added nothing to it. We literally stood where a wedding would be taking place.
Did you even go out and buy cake or anything?
No, because that's how little planning we had going into it ahead of time. I didn't have a wedding cake. We didn't do the splashing
All right. Okay,
each
so
other.
then how did you find out, Mr. Blanchard? What was it that they did that the neighbor said they're having a wedding?
Yeah, when the neighbor called me, he mentioned how they were in this organized line, is what he called it.
He must have been very nosy.
I would say yes, he probably is. He is retired. He has plenty of time
Is
on his
Alfred
hands.
Hitchcock your neighbor? Like, what is going on here?
Do you ask your neighbor to keep an eye on the rentals?
I do, because sometimes we may not rent the house for a week. We want to make sure that there's no kids coming.
So he must have been watching them like a hawk, because...
I wouldn't say he watches them like a hawk. He is retired. He'll look over there a couple of times a day.
Okay, so then he called you, said they're having a wedding. What did you do?
I drove down there.
Do you live near the house?
Yes.
Okay,
So
how far away do you live?
It's 10, 15 minutes.
Okay, so
It's
you
not
drove.
far.
How soon
Right.
thereafter that he called you, you went?
Immediately. I left immediately.
Really?
Yeah.
Why not call him first?
This is my main business. So
I understand, but
something's
why not call
happening,
him first?
Call.
The defendant.
I did. There was no answer.
Okay, so you drove up to the house. Did you see anything different? Did you see evidence of an event happening from the outside? Nothing. It just looked like when you left them.
I went to the front door, no answer. I went around to the side, and I saw people afterwards. So I didn't see the actual wedding because, as he said, it was something quick, it was informal, but my neighbor had seen it, and I trust my neighbor.
That's it. And then what happened?
Well, I looked around, I counted the number of people who were there. It's 12 people. Again, the agreement called for 10, and because...
Did you ask them if the 12 people were spending the night?
I did not. Okay, but
Well, you should have done.
And you're on by the
I should have.
Okay, let's let Mr. Blanchard
I just
finish.
made an assumption on that.
You know what they say when you assume.
Yes,
Right?
indeed. I was probably wrong there, but again, I'm coming down in kind of a heated moment.
But when you walked in, you said nothing. Everything seemed normal. You just saw 12 people there, and no signs of a big, crazy hoopla party happening. Just them in the backyard, and that got you mad?
Yes, because it was a violation of the rules.
So then what happened next, Mr. Blanchard? Then you walked in, you were furious, etc. What happened?
Right. At that point, I felt I had no choice but to kick him and his friends out of the rental property.
Really?
Yes.
You didn't even ask questions?
No. No, it was
You didn't
very-
even walk around the house to see if something was ruined or
and
damaged?
I did that after they left.
Okay,
So
what
first
was
thing is,
damaged after they left?
first thing, I had to get them off the property.
Okay.
Second thing, I did a walkthrough. So in the living room, there's a beautiful white 8x10 carpet, and red wine is spilled all over.
All over it? Do
All
you have
over it.
pictures of that?
I do. Bailiff, if I
Cinder.
may.
So red wine all over the
Well,
white
there's a
carpet?
large, not all over, but there's a large spot in the center,
Okay.
which I would have to clean.
Okay,
When I
that's
did the-
easy to clean sometimes.
When I did the
Sometimes
walk,
it's not, but that's easy to clean. Okay.
When I did
And
the
I'm sure you
walkthrough-
had a cleaning fee, right?
the cleaning fee is for the normal wear and tear. Cleaning
Did you
fee
try
would
to
be
get this
something
out by yourself?
above.
There's great things in. I have a white carpet in
We
my
have
TV
cleaning
room.
supplies there, but we were not able to get it out.
Really? Do you have proof from that from the carpet cleaners that they had a?
I do have a receipt from the carpet cleaner in there. On the outside, I took a walk around the pool, and there was broken glass around the pool. So clearly,
broken glass around the pavement of the pool?
yeah, and in the pool.
Okay.
Okay,
Did
so
you
clearly,
get that out right away?
Well, I used the net to do that, but I don't know what's fallen to the bottom. I have a rental coming in for the period of time afterwards. So this is a safety hazard. I had to have somebody special
When was the
come
next
in
rental coming in?
immediately after he was leaving, which would have been in 3 more days.
$900 to clean the pool?
Well, they don't just clean the pool. They have to clean
How
the
many
glass.
glasses did you break?
Clean the inside,
So
drain the pool, and refill
to
the pool.
clarify something, when he came in all hot and heavy, trying to like bully us out of it immediately without having any questions, we were all kind of also at high alert. So while we were trying to collect our stuff, during the course of that, we did break a glass, but that was while we were trying to clean up and gather all our things to leave. So as a result,
You let him kick you out after you paid for a week's stay?
You know,
really let him kick you out?
we tried to explain, but he just was not having any of it. I was explaining that like our friends that were visiting, they were only temporary. He didn't want to hear it. He said immediately called me a liar and saying that those 12 people were in fact staying because they had their car there, which that doesn't really make sense to me, but that's how he put one and one together.
So he didn't even give you a chance to clean anything.
It was
but
get
how
out.
many glasses broke that you know?
It was probably one large pint glass, so it was a little thicker and heftier of a glass. And,
Okay.
But again, we would have not have had that issue if he wouldn't have come in so hot and being like, you guys need to get out.
Coming up,
Why didn't you just charge him more?
At that term, I
You know,
didn't.
you have a duty to mitigate your damages, right? Why not just charge him more? Say, I'm going to charge you $500 more or $1,000 more. Why not give him the option?
At that point, I didn't trust him.
you're watching Justice for All with Judge Cristina Perez. We're back with the case of William Blanchard, who is suing Howard Garlington for breach of contract.
How many days had you stayed at the rental?
So we'd been there 3. This was on day 3 of the rental.
Were you there the full third day?
Probably 3/4 of it. We were kicked out
Okay.
in the late afternoon,
So
early
3
evening.
days, you were basically, and you paid him up front the $2,500,
For all
right?
6 days, correct.
Okay, $2,500 for all 6 days. All right. So you spent $450 and $900, right? Did you
Correct.
think of reimbursing them the 3 days that they were there?
He didn't ask for one. I did not offer one.
Okay. Interesting. All right. Anything else that you guys want to
Yes.
say?
Because I was not able to get somebody to clean the carpet and clean and drain and refill the pool immediately, my booking for the following week had to be canceled. So
Do you
this
have
one,
proof of the booking for the following week?
I do have a contract, and that's in there, plus the cancellation notice. So there's another $1,050 in terms of lost income.
Mr. Blanchard, when you saw and you walked in and you saw that they were there, and in your opinion, they were having an event versus using it for vacation home, why didn't you just charge them more?
At that term, I
You know,
didn't.
you have a duty to mitigate your damages, right? Why not just charge him more? Say, I'm going to charge you $500 more or $1,000 more. Why not give him the option?
At that point, I didn't trust him. I just didn't believe him. I thought he's trying to skirt the intent of the separate website where he could go and book for an event, and that his story about an impromptu last-minute wedding, that just didn't make any sense to me.
Coming up,
You didn't think of bringing that as a countersuit to Mr. Blanchard?
I was so disheartened dealing with him in person. It seemed like a fool's errand to try to deal with him at all.
You're watching Justice for All with Judge Cristina Perez. We're back with the case of William Blanchard, who is suing Howard Garlington for breach of contract.
Anything else that you would like to add, Mr. Garlington?
I would like to say that it's ridiculous. He came in, kicked us out immediately. It was a huge inconvenience for myself and my guests. We had to leave. It was kind of already later in the evening, so we had to figure out transportation out to get back to Los Angeles. Some of us had been partaking in adult beverages, so we had to figure out the right...
Where did you stay?
Where we were all going to stay together and how we were even going to manage to move all our vehicles.
What did you and your brand new wife end up doing?
We did go back to our apartment that we live in together, and we were able to have one of the couples come and stay with us. It's not a very big apartment.
Did anybody incur expenses?
We did have a few of our friends that went and got hotels for themselves that were kind of near the area, so they ended up having to additionally pay for their stays.
And you didn't think of bringing that as a countersuit to Mr. Blanchard?
I was so disheartened dealing with him in person that it felt like any more conversations we were going to have were just going to be frivolous, and it seemed like a fool's errand to try to deal with him at all.
Yeah, that's too bad. Okay, anything else, Mr. Blanchard, before I rule?
Yes, Your Honor. If the defendant was able to pull off an impromptu wedding very, very quickly, I'm sure he would have been able to figure out where to stay without any major inconvenience. He had a contract. He broke the contract. Damaged the property, and I think it's only fair that he pay for the damages that he caused.
But the main thing that I have to prove here is that you, Mr. Blanchard, said you have a contract, and you're claiming that the defendant breached the contract. He failed to do what he promised to do, which was have 10 people sleep in the place and not have any events. So that's your position. And
Correct.
He's saying, I didn't do that. And period. I abided by the rules. And you know what, Mr. Blanchard? I believe that the defendant did exactly what he was supposed to do under the contract.
Judge Perez's verdict when Justice for All returns. You're watching Justice for All with Judge Cristina Perez.
So in my opinion, you breached the contract and you kicked him out. He had 3.5 days left. I do not feel that it is appropriate for the defendants to be penalized for your loss of the other rental, so I'm going to deny those $1,050, right? I believe that you owe them $1,300 for 3.5 days that you kicked them out because you breached the contract, right? I will give you the pool for $700. Based on the evidence, I will deny your claim and grant it in part for only $700 based on the pool cleaning. And I will also, even though they did not request it, I will make sure that defendants get $1,300 back. Next time, Mr. Blanchard, just don't jump the gun. Don't assume. Talk to the neighbor. Practice a little bit of kindness and listening. Maybe if you would have really heard his story, you would have been okay with it and you would have been convinced instead of assuming. Okay? Good luck, gentlemen.
Thank you.
All rise.
Judge Perez has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff owes $600.
Well, thanks for contributing to my wedding registry.
Well, I hope your wedding lasts longer than your stay at my property.
Thank you.
This has been a production of Allen Media Group.